What's up, nerds? My name's Corey Bergeron. You're watching Corey Bergeron Recordings, and we're back with a brand new video. If you haven't seen my latest video, Why This Music Producer Hates Fiverr, I sat down with my friend Robby. He broke down his experience being a seller on the Fiverr platform, and ultimately why he decided to stop being a seller on the platform. Well, I've convinced him to give it another go. And in this video, we're going to attempt to create the perfect Fiverr gig. A gig that attracts the right clients, that sets appropriate boundaries, and that ultimately creates a sustainable business on Fiverr. So here we go. How we look? Do we look good?
Are we in focus?
Yeah, two audio guys trying to set up a camera.
Oh boy.
Okay, so we're going to be taking a look here. We got the screen cap rolling. We can see your Fiverr profile.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing a little bit of a refresh. I'm going to just go through your mixing gig, and I'm going to give you my honest thoughts from what I know, and we're going to see if we can kind of spruce it up, all with the goal of you making it active, because right now it's paused.
Yeah.
And seeing what we can do, because you are committed.
I am committed.
Giving it another go.
We are going to do this. Yeah, give it to me straight, Doc.
All right, so we're gonna go over to the gigs tab here, and we can see this mix your rock music gig, and we can see that it is paused. So we're gonna just click edit here. Let's look at the first thing right here, the title of your gig. I will mix your rock music. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but in my gigs, I will put mix and master, and it seems to be a service that people want.
The whole package.
I will get maybe, I'd say 1 out of 50 people only want their track to be mixed, but generally the buyers on Fiverr are looking to get a release-ready song. They want to send you what they've recorded, and then they want to get that file back and release it.
Okay.
So that's why I always approach it in a mix and mastering way. So it's something to consider. I like that you've doubled down on a genre. Think of yourself when you want to hire a mixing engineer. Obviously, you want someone that knows the niche of music that you've created and has that expertise. So I think it's good to double down on that.
So that's what I noticed about your gigs is that you have like one for rock, one for punk, pop, one for alternative or country, and like I found that interesting. So that is really just various same advertisements for the same end product, really, in the grand scheme of things, but you're just trying to target the individuals that are
yes,
for that.
That's exactly what it is, and that's what I started out with, and I've kind of stayed on that. Being a Fiverr Pro, I could change one of those gigs to I will mix and master your music or your song, but you can't have anything overlap. You can't have one gig that overlaps with another gig, because when you're a Fiverr Pro, they manually review it. I'm afraid to change my gig, so I don't know if it'll perform better or worse if I made it maybe a little bit more general. But in my experience, I've essentially doubled down on the pop punk niche, and it's working, so I don't want to change anything just yet. But if I find that things slow down, or I want to maybe go in a different direction, I might eventually make it more vague or more general and see what happens.
Got you.
Let's make it mix and master. You're comfortable mastering? Mix and master your rock music. There we go. Fiverr says it's just perfect. So let's move on down. We got categories, music and audio, mixing and mastering. That's good for me. Let's go down to the gig metadata. So you can see it says choose 3 genres that best fit your service, and you have 1 selected. Now you're being an honest broker here. I will mix and master your rock music. You've selected rock music, but I think you can do yourself a service here by including some genres that live in the rock space.
Okay.
So you can tell me, but for me, indie kind of works. And I know personally that's something that's in your repertoire.
Yep.
Hip hop? No,
probably not.
And then you probably want to stay away from the metal side of rock.
So maybe singer-songwriter.
Singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
There you go. So this helps in the back end when people are searching your gig pop up. You're not doing any harm by doing this, and you're just kind of broadening your reach.
Yeah.
So I think this all moves you in the right direction here. Let's go down to tags. So these are positive keywords, meaning when people type these in, ideally your gig pops up. I think we can refine these. This takes a little bit of experimenting, and when you become a seller plus on Fiverr, meaning that you pay the monthly fee and you get additional perks, one of those perks is that you get additional analytics, and you can see within categories what words are searched most.
Okay.
So right now I can't give you the most actionable words, but I would say maybe after on my profile, we can go down, use my seller plus, and see what's being searched in the rock category and refine these. Because truthfully, if someone's looking for a mixing and mastering service, they're probably not typing in guitars.
Right.
They're probably not typing in drums. They're probably typing in mixing. They might say hard rock. They might say mixed rock music, but I think we can refine these. And in my experience, when I refined my tags across all my gigs, it was a huge step forward. I found the algorithm really started working in my favor. So that's something we can definitely take advantage of. So we'll come back to that later.
Okay.
So we'll save this and we'll move forward to pricing. So here we go. So on the pricing page, we have 1 package. Fiverr gives you the option to either have 1 or 3 packages. I find there might be a way to have two, but in my experience, it's either one or three.
Right.
Everything I've been told on the internet says to offer the 3 packages, but in my experience, I've only ever offered the 1 package in the mixing and mastering space. And the reason for that is because I kind of have a catch-all type of gig.
Yes.
Where send me what you got and I'll deliver you a quality product. I have the confidence and experience to do that, so I'm comfortable with that.
The 3 package option really feels overwhelming to me anyway, in terms of like, wait, what did I say I'd offer in the standard as opposed to the premium? I know I can always go back and have a look at it, but it does feel like I'm making products that I'm just doing because there's the option of having 3. So that's why I've always sort of probably gravitated towards just the 1 as well.
That makes sense, and I share the same sentiment. Oftentimes I'll have buyers, place an order, and they don't necessarily know everything that I'm doing on my end, but when they pay money, they want a release-ready track that sounds good.
Yeah.
And they don't know necessarily how it gets there. They don't know that I might have to edit their drums. They might have already edited their drums, but there might be something I'm hearing that I think we can do a little differently. Same thing with tuning vocals and whatnot. So I find I actually did experiment with it, having 3 packages, where in the first package, I would just mix and master your track, and by the third package, I was doing some editing and some vocal tuning. And I found all that did was confuse potential buyers, as well as people would just pay for the basic gig. And because my role is to give them the best product, I was still doing everything else.
Yeah, it's almost like I want to tune these vocals, but you didn't pay for standard, so I kind of shouldn't. Like, that doesn't feel good. You want to make this as good as possible.
Exactly, and that should always be your aim. Now, you could make the argument that you can have vocal tuning as an add-on, and it's up to you as the seller to communicate, hey, I think this track would benefit from some additional vocal tuning, and try and upsell them. But I like to take the easy path. So
yeah, I feel the same.
So this is great. I will edit, tune, mix, and mix your song. So we should probably include mix and master your song. And let's move down to delivery time. So this is a personal thing. I've mentioned in all my videos when I started, I had a 24-hour delivery window. Don't ever do that. That's insane. I then moved it to 5 days, which I thought was like a lifetime. But once you get 10 orders piling up, 5 days is not a lot of time. And the last thing you want to do is rush something just to get it done. Nobody wants that. I changed mine to a 2-week delivery window, assuming people would be upset or that might deter people from ordering. Not a single complaint.
Okay.
So if I was in your experience, if delivery time is something that could stress you out, I would recommend to change this to at least 2 weeks.
Let's do it.
Let's do it?
Yeah.
All right. Boom. 14 days.
I feel like the anxiety is reducing already.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so we have mixing selected. Because this is in the mixing category, it won't give you the option to select mastering.
Sure.
And I've seen that confuse a couple buyers, but that's nothing, just sending a couple messages back and forth. Can clarify. When it comes to number of tracks and stems, I've always thought this was kind of a weird way to, like, I'll mix your track, but only eight stems. Like, that's...
You've got 9? Sorry,
it doesn't work. You have to pay double now. I've always felt that was kind of weird, and I'll have people reach out and say, hey, my song is 96 tracks. Is that okay? Yeah. It's like, whatever it is. Sometimes I use 8 mics on a drum kit. Sometimes I use 4. Sometimes I use 16. I don't think it necessarily means it's going to take more time to mix and master. So I like to just put it as unlimited. And let's look down here. So we're not going to include an alternate version off the bat at no additional fee. You can choose to put the master stem export in, but we'll come back to that. You can choose to use analog gear if you wish. You can choose to include the project file if you wish, but I think these all make great add-ons.
Okay.
So I would say don't include these in your initial thing and just put them as add-ons. If the client asks for them and they haven't purchased the add-on, you can decide then and there if you want to just do it.
Yeah.
But it at least puts it on the buyer that if they know they want that going into it, they might pay for that add-on, and that's great for you.
Cool.
So let's go down to revisions. I generally like to hover around 3 revisions because I feel like that's a fair amount, as well as it might give peace of mind to the potential buyer. Every mix I work on, there's at least 1 or 2 revisions. There's something that's getting tweaked. So on each gig, I like to give 3 revisions. Is that something you're comfortable with?
Let's go with 3.
The way Fiverr works is this number doesn't actually mean anything. They can continuously put it into revision. It doesn't stop them.
Okay.
But it just kind of sets some sort
Boundaries.
of social boundary.
Right.
But it's really up to you to enforce that if you wish, in my experience. The goal is to satisfy the client at the end, so sometimes you can feel like you're getting abused, but you just want to get the order done and make sure the person on the other end is happy. Let's go down to songs included. This is obviously for 1 song. Then we come down to price. if I want to hire you to mix and master my song, how much should that cost?
Are you asking me off Fiverr right now?
So in your position, you've started and stopped on Fiverr a couple times. So let's just say that you are a new seller. In order to get the ball rolling and to kind of get your claws into the algorithm, I've always recommended to undercharge right off the bat, to get a couple orders in, to get some reviews, and then to quickly increase your prices. Because when you offer, let's say $10 for a mixing and mastering gig, you're going to get not the best clientele. You're going to get people that want you to
move the earth
and just have completely unrealistic expectations. I would say let's put this to 25.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start there, hoping that weeds out the worst of the worst clients, but it's still a super competitive price. That is not worth your time. But if you are investing into Fiverr and you want it to work for you down the road, this is unfortunately one of the sacrifices I think you have to make. But in my experience, it was worthwhile.
Well, and in a way, I think the way you can frame it as well, there's a parallel in when you start mixing in the first place. Like, we do free mixes for friends. Like, we mix projects and to get a portfolio together and whatnot anyway. So I guess it just feels like taking a step back a little bit, but I mean, we're not unused to doing something like this.
Just to reiterate, the reason why we're charging such a cheap price for the service is to get orders in, to get the ball rolling. Another way around this, if you already have a clientele outside of Fiverr and you're already offering these services, you could potentially route some of your outside clients through Fiverr, charge them a custom offer of whatever you think is fair. And what that will do is it'll get new people on the platform ordering through Fiverr, which the algorithm will love, which will push you forward, and then you can kind of skip this stage. So that's another way around it if you have traffic outside of Fiverr. But I think for now, if you're comfortable with this, we can start here. I would say after the first order goes through, you get 5 stars, raise that to $50.
Okay.
Like, you should raise it as quick as possible. The reality is you are somewhat vulnerable by having this price point out there.
Right.
Let's go to extra services here. We are going to include the extra fast delivery. We're going to say for an additional $100, you'll get it in 5 days.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable?
Very, yeah.
Okay, so I like to add this. When you're working on music, you have an emotional connection to it. And usually when you create music, you're inspired. You can, I guess, capitalize is the word, on that inspiration. Someone makes a song and they want the final version to release as soon as possible, and they'll be willing to pay an additional fee to get the track sooner.
Strike while the iron's hot kind of approach.
Exactly. This is a gig add-on that gets purchased regularly on my account. Mastered stem export, project file. Let's put these in. We will just upcharge $25.25. Additional revision, we'll put at $25. We'll make it add a day. Okay, so that's where I would leave that for now. Are you comfortable with this? Any questions with any of this?
Yeah, so just when we're talking about project file, we are saying literally like I use Reaper, so that's going to be the Reaper session, which is really only useful to them if they have that DAW and want to go inside and mess around with the plugins that they might not have.
Yes. So there is a little bit of confusion with this. Everyone has a different idea of what project file means. What I generally will ask when I make the delivery is, would you like the Pro Tool session or the mixed multi-track? Essentially, let me know and I'll send you whatever you want. Because yes, you are right. I use a bunch of plugins. I've collected a bunch of plugins over the years. I use Pro Tools. I can almost guarantee 99% of the people I work with would not be able to open up my session if I sent it to them. So I always just ask them what they want. And okay, let's leave that there. Save that and move forward. So let's move on to the description here. Okay, so we have this. Before purchasing, please reach out and tell me about your project. I'm going to say let's eliminate this right off the bat.
Okay.
And it'll make sense.
I put it twice though.
You really want this in there.
Please reach out beforehand.
Okay, so hi, I'm Robby Miller, professional musician, music producer, and all around audio obsessive, offering a song. Okay. It's been a while since I've reflected on what my gigs say, but I've always operated on, I guess my work will speak for itself. So what I like to do is I like to just include a Spotify playlist of my work. So it's just a quick link. Hey, here's my work. Reach out if you have any questions, as well as I like to hit on any sort of like accolades that you have. So, thousands of streams of this, or worked with the record label over here, whatever you can. I know it's like sometimes it feels weird to sell yourself that way. I would just exploit any accolade you have to do your best to separate yourself from any other potential seller. So I'll let you revise this. When I started, I had like a whole description on what mixing was. Like I will use EQ techniques. I will use compression techniques.
No one cares.
No one cares. They just want their song to sound good at the end of the day. So if you can essentially tell them, hey, I've made other songs sound good, you can trust me.
Right.
That's essentially what you want to communicate. So
that's homework for later on.
Yeah, fine tune that, and I will be happy to review it. Let's keep moving forward here. So in here, get all the information you need from buyers to get started. This is where you want to communicate how you want files sent to you. Once orders start coming in, you have to manage all these orders. The last thing you want to do is be typing out the same messages over and over again on how to send files, or someone sends you a file in a way that, they send you something with all these effects on it. You don't actually want the file sent to you that way. You want them sent to you dry. I would say take the time up front, write out exactly how you want the file sent. In my case, I have a YouTube video that's unlisted on my channel, and in that video, I break down how I want everything sent to me. Buyers really appreciate it because it makes everything crystal clear. So I would say take the opportunity here to eliminate some of that needless work, and it'll just make it easier to manage multiple projects at the same time.
Okay.
So now we'll move on over to the gallery. So we can see that there's no video here. I don't have a video on any of my mixing gigs. Capture buyers' attention with a video that showcases your service. Videos can increase user engagement by 40%. So Fiverr is, in their experience, they're saying videos make a difference. So I would say it's worthwhile to explore that. It's a way to, kind of communicate what you do and who you are. It's a way of building trust. So I would recommend, if you have the time, just put together a quick 75-second video breaking down who you are, what you do. If you look at the audio, I imagine because you haven't been mixing on Fiverr in a while, these might not be up to date. So just look through your portfolio, put up tracks that you think sound great, some of your best work. You want to cast a bit of a wide net here. So if you have, again, maybe a more singer-songwriter stripped down song, you can put that up there. If you have balls to the wall rock and roll song, you can put that up there. And then, whatever else kind of thing. You can show off some variety here in your work. I do find it really annoying though, because when you play back these tracks, Fiverr degrades the quality of it.
So much. And the same with the video as well.
Same with the video.
The videos look pretty terrible.
That's another reason why I think it's important to have a Spotify link or whatnot to get people listening to your work there. Okay, and let's move down to images here. Get noticed by the right buyers with visual examples of your services. So right now you have one photo here. The text on here, audio mastering, is a little unclear, or it can be more refined, right? Mixing and mastering, I think, would be more appropriate if you had it there. You have the right idea with having the text and then the photo of yourself. You want to treat this kind of like a YouTube thumbnail. Psychologically, humans connect with human faces and eye contact. So I think if you had a photo, maybe you in front of a pair of speakers or in the studio, whatnot, making eye contact.
Right.
It's silly to say, but I think that would just resonate with people a little bit more. And then you could post more photos of you in different studio environments, showing that you're an everyday professional. And I don't think that would do any harm. I think that'd be good there. I don't have any PDFs uploaded on my gigs, but if you wanted another place to showcase any of your work, more links, this is a great place to do it. And there we go. Let's hit save and preview. There's a couple things we hit on in here that we still need to touch up.
Yeah.
So what have you learned from this?
I think being guided through it, obviously using your experience, you've kind of done the hard work for me, so we can sort of fast track our way to building a profile here. I've definitely still got to refine some bits, which I can do in my own time, but it feels good knowing that everything's set up for stuff to come through, in a way that's gonna be a good flow.
I realized that we also brushed over the FAQ, and I think this is a fantastic place to answer people's questions. It's great that you already have a bunch of questions here that you have answers for. I would maybe suggest just go through, do a quick search mixing, see the top sellers on the platform, see what their FAQ is, and just take inspiration from theirs and add that into yours. Let's go back to the gigs page here, and if I click on Mix and Master Rock Music, it will open up this window here. There's a special feature here called Limit Orders in Queue. So this does exactly that. So if I turn it on, only 50 mixes at a time. This is personal. Obviously, Fiverr wants you to work on as much as you possibly can. But like anything, you have to manage yourself, and you don't want to be burning out. You don't want to be stressing out. You want this to enrich your life, not to be an added stress or burden on your life. So maybe in your case, because you're offering a competitive rate right now, we shoot that down to 2.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's a great place to start. Again,
Definitely.
You can change that if you need to. Any final thoughts? Are you excited? Are you nervous? How long do you feel comfortable trying Fiverr for?
I think I should try it for 3 months.
3 months.
3-month trial period on Fiverr. I'm going to really make a real good go of it. And then I think we should do a follow-up video and see, it'd be kind of interesting because I'm sure I will learn so much of what to do and what not to do.
Right.
So I think, yeah, let's go for 3 months.
Let's do it. And I think you got the right attitude, because it is going to be a bit of an experiment. And that's the beauty of it. You learn it every step of the way. Take what you learn, you apply it. I think this can be great. So make sure to stay tuned. And we'll see you where Robby's at in 3 months. So there we go. What do you think? Robby's going to give Fiverr a shot for 3 months, and then we'll check back in here, and we'll break down that experience for you. So I hope you learned something. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers, and I really want to hit that goal, so it would mean a lot if you hit the subscribe button, become a member of the channel if you want to become a member of the channel and you have too much money and you want to give it away. And that's it. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.